all. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. My name is Amira, and my channel is all about trying new makeup, talking about new makeup, but also finding new and exciting ways to be inspired by the makeup you already own. If that sounds good to you, I hope you will consider subscribing, and if you enjoyed today's video, hitting the like button. Alright guys, we are doing a new makeup releases, and I feel like it's been 1,000 years since I've done one. It hasn't been. It's been some weeks, but it hasn't been 1,000 years. But I feel like a lot's going on like in the last 2 days or so, and I'm like, oh my god, I guess I'll film a video. So yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so I'm gonna scoosh. Let's start off with the first thing that is present in my mind at the top of my list, because I have a lot to say. Because I feel like there's this weird vibe around this palette. This leaked palette, and I kind of want to bring it back. I kind of want to bring people back to being reasonable about it. Okay, so apparently spotted in some store, a Sephora store, I'm assuming, somebody got their hands on a new Natasha Denona palette called the Retro Glam palette, and they took some pictures, and it was all over the interwebs and the Instagrams, and it was posted on Trendmood, excuse me. So these are the pictures that were shown. So the top part is the palette, and then you've got these swatches, and then the outside of the packaging. So this palette has not been announced, but there was a lot of opinions. There have been a lot of opinions about this palette, and let me just say this. And I'm going to scooch over just so I can talk a little bit more about this, because I've got a lot to say. When I saw this, I was actually very excited. The Mini Retro is my favorite Natasha Denona mini palette. It's one of my favorite mini palettes in general. I love that palette. It is not a palette for everyone. Not everyone can use it. It's fairly light in tone, so it won't necessarily work on every skin tone, but for me it works, and it gives me the sort of soft, beautiful vibe that I am looking for when I use it. I was very excited when she first announced the Retro palette. I thought we were going to be getting a sort of full-size version of that mini, and we got something very different. I know a lot of people love that palette, the Retro palette. A lot of people have said that's their favorite Natasha Denona palette. I was very underwhelmed. I skipped it. I'm not interested in it. This palette is what I'm interested in. It's what I thought the original Retro was going to be. Now, a lot of people said, oh, it looks really tacky. It looks really light. I'm reserving judgment. And the reason why I'm reserving judgment about that is these are really crappy photos, guys. It looks like they were taken with a flip phone from 2008. I'm just saying, okay? So I'm going to wait until we get some real photos with decent swatches, and then you can make if you're saying, I still hate it, I think it's terrible, I would go, okay, cool. It's not for you, and that's fine. I personally feel like this is not giving the palette a chance, because these are really crappy photos. And I don't even hate the palette in these photos. I think the swatches are bad, but I don't think it's because the palette is bad. I think the swatches are bad. No shade to the person who took the photos and did the swatches. I'm not very good at swatching either, and I fully admit that, and oftentimes my swatches don't do a palette justice. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean when I say I don't feel like this is a fair representation of the palette, and it's unfortunate that it was leaked, because it's really sad when brands aren't able to show you a palette in its best light. You know what I mean? When someone sort of takes photos with poor quality, phone, or takes a poor quality phone picture, and you're just sort of like, ugh, that's disgusting. It kind of reminds me how I felt when people were taking pictures of the Urban Decay Naked Honey palette, and I was like, that is a hideous palette. And then I saw it in person in store, and I was like, oh my god, this palette is beautiful. That was the last really great naked palette I think that Urban Decay has come out with, and I said what I said, don't at me. But I feel like knowing Natasha Denona as well as I do, Natasha and I are besties. We talk on the phone every Friday night. Just kidding. But I'm saying that I've tried so much Natasha Denona. There's no other brand besides Pat McGrath and Natasha Denona that I've tried more of. There's Pat and there's Natasha, and it's like this. As far as how many of their eyeshadow products I have tried. She has one of my favorite eyeshadow formulas. It literally is Pat and Natasha as far as my favorites go. And I am giving her and the brand the benefit of the doubt because I know how her products, her eyeshadows, know that they often look lighter in pan than they apply on the eye. That's one thing people don't tell you about Natasha Denona. Her shades can look very not pigmented until you dip a brush in them and you put them on your eyelid and you're like, oh, okay. Shadows almost always apply darker on the eye than they look in the pan with Natasha Denona, and that includes her lighter shades. They can be very surprisingly deceptively pigmented. So I'm not really worried about it not being pigmented or being too light. I'm just not worried about that. So I am, like I said, I'm actually excited for this. I want to see what's coming because this is what I wanted the original MIDI retro to be. So I'm actually excited for this. And again, I know some people are like, oh, it's too light, it's too light. Again, that's my feeling about the formulation. That palette will not be deep enough for some skin tones. That's just a fact. But it will work for more skin tones. I suspect it will work for more skin tones than people are giving it credit for right now. And so I feel like we need to pull back, reserve a little judgment, let the palette actually be released instead of judging it by crappy leaked photos. Let's now talk about another holiday collection that is coming out that has been revealed that is from Lime Crime, and it is they have like a nice little array. They've got a trio of velveteens. It's called their Lunar Eclipse is the name of I believe the name of the holiday collection. So they have a trio set of velveteen lips in Wicked, Blood Moon, and Luna. Luna is the one new shade. I have Wicked and Blood Moon, beautiful shades. Luna is really pretty, but I would only buy that if I could get it individually. They're sold as a trio, so skipping that. They have 2 iridescent eye and brow toppers, $15 each in Winter Blue and Amethyst. Skip. They have some Moonstone and Face Gems. Skip. And then they have a Venus XL and Blue Opal, $20, and it's a 4-pan palette. And am I wrong? Am I wrong? Am I remiss in saying that this is actually a really interesting color story? For 4 shadows, I feel like this is a nice little curation. I think it is, guys. I think it is. I think it's a nice little curation. My issue with it is the packaging, but that's my issue with most of Lime Crime's packaging when it comes to their eyeshadows, is I think their packaging is too bulky. It's just too bulky. And for a 4-pan shadow to have this much packaging around it, for me, it's off-putting, and it makes me not want to purchase it. And I've had some of these Venus XL palettes. I've decluttered them or sold them because they take up so much room that it's almost like I don't want to use them because they're so clunky, So I really wish that they would find a way to downsize their packaging a little bit, just to streamline it, because I don't think it does a disservice to the actual products themselves. But I actually think that's a cute little curated little 4-pan. The other items, I'm like, whatever. Like I said, the only other thing that I was interested in was the Luna liquid lipstick, but Lime Crime doesn't have my favorite liquid lipstick formula. So even though I love the shade, I'm not really in the market to buy liquid lipstick formulas that I don't like just because I like the shade. I could probably, if I was really that into it, I could probably try to dupe it out somewhere else. You know what I mean? Next up is this, and I believe this has already come out, and this is the Glam Light Scooby-Doo collection, and this was, I guess, their Halloween collection. I feel like this came out really late because they announced it, it came out on the 22nd? That's really late, I feel like. Am I wrong in thinking that? I really wish brands would start releasing their Halloween collections in September so that we could all get our hands on everything and enjoy them during the Halloween season. I'm still waiting on a palette that I ordered in September. It is now October 29th. I still have not received it. It hasn't even been shipped yet. I would have loved to have shown it on the channel for Halloween for you guys, but I'm not getting that palette until November. I might still show it. I don't know. We'll see. I'm kind of bummed about that, but yeah, that's just an aside. I wish brands would plan ahead a little bit better and release things in September and actually be able to receive them in like October, late September, October, so that you can actually enjoy them for the holiday season, or the Halloween season, excuse me. But that's an aside. So back to this collection. So Glam Light is coming out, or has come out, with a Scooby-Doo collab with 2 palettes, Creeps and Crawls and the Roro Raggy palette. And let me just say, I mean, it has other things in there. It has a highlighter duo. It's got some mascara. It's got 3 lipsticks, a liquid liner, and some lashes. Blah, 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 blah. I'm not interested in any of that. The palettes are so cute, and they're only 20 bucks each. Creeps and Crawls is not really like, it's all purples. I feel like I could dupe this out. I could probably dupe out the other one too. Roro Raggy is actually really cute. And now that I'm looking at it more and more, I feel like if you own, and this is just if you own the Shroud Cosmetics Betty Bean It's Freaking Bats palette, you have most of these shades in the Roro Raggy. If you do not, this is a great option because it's only 20 bucks, and I think the It's Freaking Bats palette is like 42. So it all comes down to what you have, what you want, how much you're willing to spend. Having tried the Glam, I've tried one palette from Glam Light. I have the Michaela Part 2 palette, the little mini green one. Ironically, I haven't tried the greens in it, even though green's my favorite color. I've only tried the neutrals. I thought the palette was fine. I wasn't like blown away by the formulation, but again, I haven't used the palette enough to really form a solid opinion about the formulation. However, I have used my It's Friggin' Bats palette enough to know that I love that formula. They have a great eyeshadow formula. So if you like the Glam Light formula, if you don't want to spend the money on the It's Friggin' Bats palette, this is like a great dupe for that. I'm just saying, because I was really interested in this, and then the more I looked at it, the more I was like, why do I feel like I own this? Now, there are shades in here that aren't in the It's Friggin' Bats palette, like that really dark, 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 dark green. And there's a couple others, but for the most part, you can completely dupe this out if you have that It's Friggin' Bats palette and maybe a couple of other palettes to throw in for those extra shades. But having said that, I think this is a beautiful palette, and the purple one is cute too. I think they're really affordably priced. I do like that Glam Light for the most part, keeps their palettes at a pretty reasonable price point, especially for an indie brand. So good for them. I think that's great. Yeah. So this is out already, and I don't know if it's still available. I don't know how long the collab will be available, but I think that's really cute. This is out already, and this is and can I just say, I'm going to preface this before I put the photo up, before I say who the brand is. I was shocked at how much I liked this, and I almost considered purchasing. I said considered purchasing. I didn't say I almost purchased it. I said I almost considered purchasing it. I made the choice to skip, but I want to say that because I'm going to get in depth about why I think this is a great collab. So, Kylie Cosmetics is doing a collab with Batman, and not Batman the movie Batman, the old school comic Batman. And the palette and the color story is fire, y'all. I don't care what you say. If you know what the old school Batman comic was, and even the old the old school like cartoon, Batman's colors were like blue, yellow, gray, black. I mean, they kind of nailed this. Even the packaging, the inside of the palette with the like comic book spread, it's really cute. I was like, this is cute. This is cute. This is cute. I've never tried the Kylie Cosmetics eyeshadow formula. I know nothing about it. I don't really check for Kylie Cosmetics. I'm not going to lie. I had one palette from Kylie that I bought in a moment of weakness, emotional weakness. When I was one of those people who bought things to make myself feel better in the moment, I purchased a palette, immediately regretted it, never used it, and wound up selling it on Poshmark unused. That was me. That was me. So I've never actually tried the formulation. I have purchased one of the palettes, but I've never actually used it. So I have no idea what the formulation is like. But I will say this. I think aesthetically, as far as color story and layout, packaging, the whole vibe, this is fire. I'm just saying it. I'm putting it out there. It's fire. Nomad Cosmetics has just I don't know if this is out yet. It's out on Tuesday, so November 1st. It's coming out with their holiday palette, which is called Christmas Cheer. And this is what it looks like. I've never tried Nomad. I know quite a few people who really like it. I just haven't found a color story from them that I felt like I really wanted to like bite the bullet and like spend money on. And that's just because the color stories that I was interested in, I felt like I already owned and that I could dupe out. So it just felt redundant to purchase, you know? So yeah, I haven't purchased anything from Nomad before. I did just watch, ironically, I just watched Angelica Nyquist's review of this palette, and she has sort of mixed feelings and mixed opinions about it. She didn't feel that it was as good of a formulation as their other palettes. So do with that what you will. I've never tried any of their formulations, so I can't say one way or the other. And you might prefer this. Her issue is that she felt that the metallics were too textured. If you like a flaky textured metallic, which a lot of us do, I like both. I like smooth metallics. I like textured metallics. It really just depends on my mood and what the vibe is that I'm going for. So that for me was not something that I was immediately like put off by, but just something to know if that's an issue for you and you don't like textured metallics. That was the issue that she had. But yeah, I think it's cute. I mean, it's not wowing me. I'm not like, oh my God, I'm not rushing out to get it, but it's cute. MAC is coming out with a collab with Marvel for the Black Panther sequel, Wakanda Forever. See it. I'm so excited to see that. I'm a huge Marvel fan. I don't know if you know that, but I'm like a huge Marvel fan. So I see all of them, the Marvel films, but I'm really excited for Wakanda Forever because the trailer messed me up. And then they came out with another trailer that looked fantastic. And I'm just so excited. Excuse you. I'm just so excited. But yeah, enough of that. The actual collection is out now, I believe. And oh no, it's out on November 1st. You get 4 lipstick shades. You get an 8-pan eyeshadow palette. There are 4 liquid lip colors, a lip gloss, a waterproof liner, 2 waterproof liners, excuse me, a black eye kohl, an eye brush, a face brush, 1 extra dimension highlighter, excuse me, 2. One is a warm gold with rose fleck, and one is a chocolate bronze with gold flecks, and a makeup bag. Pretty extensive collection. I will say I don't find the actual collection all that exciting to me. The palette's pretty, I guess. I don't know. I'm not wowed by this collection. I'm just not. I don't know how you guys feel, but I don't look at this and it doesn't fill me with joy. I don't feel joy when I look at this. And that has nothing to do with the collab itself. Like the 2 brands, well, MAC is pretty boring, but I said what I said. Don't at me. But I'm not excited by this. So yeah, there is a new brand that launched at Sephora, and I think they launched a couple of days before, before the Sephora holiday sale began. So it is called Simi Haze. These are the promo pics of the products, and I've got feelings. I've got opinions. Let me give them now. So let's first of all talk about what you get. So there are 6 shades of their Velvet Blur Matte Lipstick Balm, $36 each. 5 shades of their Sun Flush All Over Face Tint Liquid Blush, $35. Lunar Lip Gel Lip Gloss, 4 shades, $30 each. Solar Tint Cream Blush Duo, $42, 5 shades. Super Slick Tinted Lip Balm, $28, 7 shades. Eye Play Gem Sticker Pack, $38. And then an Easy Lash Clean Lift Tubing Mascara, $30. This lipstick looks pretty. This color looks stunning, but I have basically that same. Do I have lipstick here? Probably. I was eating right before I came on camera, so excuse me. But basically the same color. This is Lisa Eldridge Cinnabar. Looking a little worse for wear because, again, I was eating and talking a lot. But pretty similar, right? I love this type of shade. Love this formula. This is beautiful. How much is this lipstick? The lipstick balms are $36. So a Lisa Eldridge lipstick is about the same price. Just putting it out there. Actually, I think Lisa's are 32, so they might be cheaper. I have two feelings about the packaging and the aesthetic of this brand. One, it gives me sort of Korean makeup brand vibes, but it also gives me play makeup that you buy your kid, your little girl, like the kind of makeup my mom bought me when I was little, the little toy fake makeup that you used, you know, the kind of makeup that you buy at Claire's and you get someone for as like a gift. Like as a little girl, this is the kind of makeup that I played with. It was like fake makeup. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't know anything about this brand. I know, from what I understand, it's run by two sisters and it's their names put together. Cool. No diss to them. I just think the price points are very presumptuous. I think the price point is very presumptuous. Yeah, I think their blushes are $42 each. Gucci blush is $49. I'm just giving you some comparisons here, okay? I think the price point is very presumptuous, and I'm gonna leave it at that. So Ritual de Fille is coming out with 2 limited edition shades of their Color Nectar Pigment Balm, and I've tried samples of these, and I actually really like these, and I never like wound up biting the bullet and purchasing any of them, but I'm tempted because I think they're so beautiful. But these are the shades, and how cool are these? And these are all limited edition shades exclusively for our trick or treat event. It's only through October 31st and only while stock lasts. So only through today, because I'm putting this up on Monday, while stock lasts. And it's if you can pick one of the 2 shades as your free gift with orders of $50 or more. So these are not colors that you can purchase on their own. I kind of hate when Ritual de Fille does that, but I will say this, that when they do that, they do tend to eventually sort of like release them like in limited quantities that you can purchase eventually. Who knows when though, but I think those are cool shades. I just wish that you could just purchase them and not have to spend money on other things to get them. You know what I mean? Dose of Colors is coming out with a new collection. Wow. They're coming out with something called their Glam to the Nines collection. The collection includes 2 9-pan eyeshadow palettes at $36 each, 2 eyeliners, $19 each, and 4 lip oils, $19 each, and it's available November 1st, so Tuesday. Am I wrong to say that this looks cheap? Am I wrong to say that? Because that's how I feel. First of all, I love Dose of Colors. Dose of Colors has my favorite liquid lipstick formula. It has one of my favorite lip gloss formulas. They have a fantastic eyeshadow formula. Their 5-pan palettes are bomb. Great palettes, great travel palettes. Love them. I kind of feel bad that I didn't include one of them in my video about my favorite small pan palettes because I do love all of the ones that I own. I haven't reached for them in a while, so I was like, I'm not going to include them in that. But I do love that formulation, and I think it's so great. I don't feel like this lives up to the aesthetic that I think of when I think of Dose of Colors. This feels very, it looks cheap, guys. It just looks drugstore. Like the packaging for these 9-pan palettes, they just look terrible to me. I'm sorry. Like the color stories don't even look all that interesting. I want them to be a bit more innovative with their products overall, because I think Dose of Colors is a great brand, but I think Dose of Colors is another brand that is maybe getting left behind a bit because they're not doing anything interesting and they're not stepping out of the box a little bit. You know what I mean? So yeah, I wanted to mention this because I was so kind of put off by the whole vibe of this. It just really made me kind of sad. It made me sad, guys, because this is not what I think of when I think of Dose of Colors. It makes me sad. Busy Art is coming out with two new Petite Pro palettes. It says 2 new Petite Pro City Night collection inspired by their the gloriously classic Paris Etoile palette. They're $30 each. I'll show them here. So here's the first one. I think this is very pretty. And then the second one. I think these are cute. I can dupe all of this easily. So I won't be picking them up. But I think these are very pretty color stories. I think these color stories are better than the color story that they came out with this palette that they recently released, their Le Mirai palette. I think this is a hideous color story. Sorry, not sorry. I think this is not attractive. But I think the other two are actually quite cute. Quite cute. Like I said, I'm not picking them up, but I think they are adorable. I feel like Viseart is maybe coming out with too much, because I feel like some of the palettes are starting to look way too similar to other things that they have. Like this teal one kind of reminds me of that dark blue one that they came out with last holiday, just warmer. So yeah, I kind of want them to like maybe pull it back a bit as far as how many releases they have. I don't think they needed 3 holiday releases. Maybe just 1, you know? All right, guys, so that is everything. And I have to say, I feel underwhelmed again. With the exception of a couple things. I mentioned one thing that I said that when it was released, I'm absolutely purchasing, and that is the Natasha Denona Retro Glam palette. I don't care what you say. Don't come for me in the comments. I'm buying it. But everything else, I mean, there was a couple of things that I thought were pleasant surprises, but for the most part, I'm just like, and you know what? I'm okay with that. I feel like that's the theme. We're now heading into the end of the year. We're wrapping it up, you know, and I feel like this year overall has been quite underwhelming makeup wise and makeup release wise, but maybe that's for the best for all of us. Maybe that's for the best. Let me know in the comments down below. Is there anything that I talked about today that is a must-have for you? Or is there anything in this little video that I just recorded for you guys that is an absolute, why did they make that? Skippity skip, skip, skip. Let me know. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye now.